Hello and welcome to The Unfiltered Experience with Tara and Louisa. We are two girls who speak the truth about the struggle of never feeling enough whilst growing up in a world of filters and comparison. Here we will have raw, relatable and authentic conversations to empower you on your path to self-development. Come with us on the journey of unlearning.
Welcome to our last episode of our pregnancy series.
Hopefully.
Because, well, until you're pregnant again. Because Tara is going to talk about Trimester 3 today, and then our pregnancy series will become our parenting series.
There's a thing called Trimester 4. And
really?
That's the period after the baby's born.
Oh.
So we'll check back in on Trimester 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which will be a good one.
Today will be a mini ep because there's only so much we can talk about with Trimester 3.
Very true.
And I will just speak on the fact, I know at the end of last episode, if you listened, we talked about how this episode was going to be something new and exciting. Trimester 3 is definitely new and exciting. However,
this is not it.
We've delayed our project by a week. So next Monday, if you're listening, stay tuned because we have something to give back to our community.
Yes. It was funny because when we talked about doing this episode, I was like, no, I can't talk on it because I've got brain fog. And I was like, I think that's the biggest symptom of Trimester 3 that I have is just my brain's switched off. My instincts are gone. My motivation's gone. I'm just rotting on the couch. Any chance I can get, which is fine though, because I feel like my body's at a point now where it's we need rest. We're getting to this place where shit is really hard. So to just do nothing is completely okay with me. I feel fine doing that. But yeah, probably the biggest symptoms that I've been experiencing are my body hurting. I remember watching videos of women that were in their third trimester and they would speak about having a sore back and having back pain and all that sort of stuff. And I just couldn't fathom it. I couldn't imagine what they were talking about. And then as I've gotten to this point in pregnancy, everything in my body has just softened. So my ankles have softened, my hips have softened, my uterus has softened, my back, every sort of ligament's just kind of giving way, which is so incredible for the human body to do because it softens so that you can,
get it out
essentially. But as a result of that, standing on my feet, I don't know how women work until the end of their pregnancy on their feet. Oh my God, I cannot stand on my feet for more than an hour. Going for a walk, my feet hurt. And I used to work hospitality, so I was on my feet all the time. It would take a good 7-8 hours before that sore feet feeling would kick in. I just get it straight away, just kicks in straight away. And then it goes all the way up my pelvis, my back, my shoulders, my neck. Everything just feels sore. Which is very normal. And I've been kind of getting this stitch in the lower part of my stomach, which is just another ligament thing. It's just stretching and movement and all that sort of stuff. So that's been fun.
One thing I've noticed is when Trimester 3 began, your energy levels dipped and your mood dipped again.
Yeah.
So the energy and the vibes of Trimester 2 retracted.
Yes, 100%. I have noticed, I know I said this in the last episode, but if you're listening to this prior to being in Trimester 3, get all of your shit done. I swear to God, because once you're here, you don't want to think about it. I cannot get myself out of bed without fucking hobbling and grabbing onto things and an 18-point turn just to get out, let alone think about, doing nursery stuff. I'm so grateful that I did that already. Not that it's finished. I mean, I've still got to wash all the baby's clothes and put things in their proper place, but all the purchasing and shopping is done because I couldn't think of anything worse than having to walk through a shopping center right now. I went last week because I've really tried my hardest not to buy maternity clothes. I just, A, didn't want to waste my money, and B, it didn't really suit my vibe. Like I just didn't identify with like wearing maternity clothes, which is fine. But it's getting colder and leggings don't really cut it, and I cannot for the life of me wear tracksuit pants. So I was like, I'm going to give in. I'm going to go and buy maternity tracksuit pants. The walk from the car to the maternity shop, by the time I got there, I was sweating. My feet were swollen. I was like ready to pass out. My hips aching. And I was like, just give me the fucking trackies and let me go home. Like, it was just not an enjoyable experience. So yeah, if you can get all your shopping done, like, and you know, of course people can't, but like if you can, just do it. Like, it'll make your life 10 times easier. And back to like the swelling. And one thing I didn't expect was I expected my hands to swell because they tend to do that when I get hot, and I'm very hot all the time. But my feet are so swollen. Like, my shoes don't fit me. I've been getting blisters from my slides, like, because they're just so swollen. They're rubbing on the edges. There's just certain shoes that I just cannot get on anymore, like my Ugg boots. Like, I cannot get them on.
Your Ugg boots?
Yeah, it's like a full mission.
Wow.
I need one of those like slippy things to like slip my heel.
Oh my
in.
God, the shoehorn?
Yes.
What is a shoehorn?
I need one because my heel is not getting in there. It's too swollen.
You need slides.
Well, yeah, I need to just, yeah.
Slides
I live in
and
slippers.
Yeah,
I live in slippers. So I have been getting these Braxton Hicks contractions, which is so weird. And I have the Flow app. So if you're pregnant, get an app. Like, it's really cool. It tells you what to expect on what days, and it kind of eases you into what's coming up in the next couple of weeks and what to expect. And I'd heard about these Braxton Hicks contractions, and they said they're painful, but not too painful that you can't continue whatever you're doing. They're just uncomfortable. And I've started getting them like pretty routinely at the same time most nights. And it basically is like a fake contraction. And it's like your uterus is getting used to, like, you know, working that sort of muscle, I think. And it's like a pre-labor thing. Not that I'm going into labor, but it's just like a thing that happens around this time. And yeah, it just feels like that real first day period. You know, when you've got those heavy cramps and it kind of like aches down your legs. Ugh. That's what it feels like, but a really dull sort of pain, like nothing too, like I've had them driving and I don't need to like pull over. When I had period pain prior to being pregnant, like that was debilitating. That would send me to bed most days. But no, this one's a lot more manageable, but it's just so interesting. I mean, the baby's obviously so much bigger, and at the moment she's transverse, which means she's sideways, which is completely fine. I had a little bit of a freak out the other night and called the midwife, because when your baby gets to this size, you can really feel where they are, and they're moving and kicking and like hiccuping and whatever. So you kind of can judge where their legs are and where their head is and that sort of thing. And I just felt this big ball sort of like come up the side of me throughout the day, like, because she was head down at my last appointment. And when I felt this head moving and I could see it, like it was like bigger on one side, and I started to freak out because then she stopped, and once she was in that position, she was moving so weirdly that I called the midwife, and they said it's very normal. Like, obviously you don't want her to be in that position a little bit later on when you're going into labor, because that would need to result in them flipping the baby or potentially doing a C-section if you wanted to have a natural birth. But yeah, like it's so weird now that she's bigger, like even though she's transverse, which is fine, like I can feel her, like I can feel like little legs, like head sort of thing. I mean, I have the placenta that's at the front. I forget what that's called. Anterior, posterior, anterior.
No idea.
Don't ask me. I'm not a professional. But yeah, so I do have the luxury of feeling her more than others. Like some people that have the opposite would struggle. But yeah, she moves like day and night all the time, which is the fucking weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I don't think you can ever explain to someone what that feels like until they're in that position.
Yes. That's what freaks me out, is like you have this thing inside you that's real and alive. And just imagine feeling something wriggling around.
And I know my partner, like he's been so amazing with like talking to her, and, you know, he kisses her every morning, kisses her every night, and, you know, he really tries, but I just know that he doesn't connect to her, right? Because he doesn't have her inside of him. And so we were looking up what babies look like when they're born at this stage in pregnancy, and they're like full humans, full humans. Like if I was to give birth today, she would be fine. Like she's fully grown. She would just need to be monitored for a little while. But I was showing him and he was like, what? Like, she's like with us all the time. And I'm like, yeah, like that thing with the hair and the eyes and the little nose and the face. Like she's with us. She's with us right now while we're recording this podcast. She's just in here.
She's listening.
It's just so interesting. Like there's a human being inside of me that's like ready to talk, ready to make some noise.
It's just incredible how conception works. That you have sex and then a person grows.
A tiny little microscopic little spermy cell and swims his way up and puts himself in your uterus.
And that's what you were. Like that's what I was.
No. Oh my God. What? My mum showed me my baby photos the other day. I think this is like a real like grandma thing to do, to be like, your baby's going to be like this.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, I was inside my mum. Like what? Just so weird to think about.
It is.
And now I'm like a fully grown adult, and I've been seeing these funny TikToks, and they say like they're like holding a newborn baby, and they say, isn't it funny in 15 years she's going to tell me to fuck off because I won't let her stay at her boyfriend's house.
Okay, question time. How are you feeling about birth, labour and having a child?
Good question.
Now it's becoming really... soon. It's just around the corner.
That's the next part.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, you do all this shopping and you buy all these things for like the baby, and you know, you're like, oh, they're going to need this and they're going to need that. And then, you know, you kind of get to this point in your pregnancy where you're like, wait, what am I going to need? Yeah. And so I've started shopping for like postpartum things, you know, breast pads, adult nappies, like compression shorts, you know, all that sort of stuff to kind of like bring your body back in. And I just, I haven't really thought that far into it until now. Like now I'm starting to think like post-birth, like what's that going to be like? And let me just say, I just take my hat off to women in general. Like I have been watching women give birth for the last couple of weeks. It's just my algorithm's kind of updated. And I just need to say what we go through is phenomenal. And the men just sit there, like they just do fucking nothing, and bless them, you know, like that they can't do anything. But I've just noticed that this next chapter of my life is going to be very tough on me and tough on my body. And I think it says a lot about who you choose to do this with as well, because, you know, this is not for the faint-hearted. And I know people do it all the time, but it's a full-on thing to go through. And I feel really lucky to have my partner, but I know that a lot of people don't have that. And I just think like if I maybe didn't, I would be a lot more scared. Like I feel really grateful that, you know, I'm going to have this person to support me through that. But I also know that regardless, like I am doing this alone. Like it's like no one can take away the pain. No one can take away the sort of trauma you go through, like doing that. And yeah, I think that the nerves are starting to kick in a little bit when it comes to, I haven't quite thought about what it's like to have a baby. I think when those sort of videos and things come up on social media, I try to avoid them because I want my experience to be my experience, and I don't want my sort of perspective to be clouded by what other people have gone through. Like, so when they've had, you know, babies that don't sleep or babies that are a bit colicky and they're crying and all that sort of stuff, like I don't want to, like, I just want to go through that when I go through that if I have to. So I'm trying to keep a really open mind and a fresh perspective on what, you know, newborn life is going to be like, with obviously informing myself of all the things I need to know. But I think I'm the most scared of labour, to be honest, at this point. Like that's where my perspective is at.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm scared of labour and I'm not even pregnant.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm not even scared of pushing the baby out. I think it's like the day before doing that. Like that just looks very long and painful and traumatic. So, yeah.
It's funny because you hear women that love labour and then other women that have really tough experiences. So I would not be surprised knowing you if you have a labour experience that you adore.
I think so too.
Yeah. Let's manifest that.
Well, my partner said to me, he's like, if anyone can do it, it's you. Like, I have a really high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a whinger. I don't complain. And that's to my detriment too. Like, I almost take that too far. But I can deal with things when it comes to physical pain for a lot longer than others. Like, it will take me a long time to sort out an injury or something per se. Like, not comparing that to labor at all, but just saying, like, I think I'll be able to tolerate it a lot more than I imagine. But yeah, like, I think that.
Can I give an example about your pain tolerance?
Yeah.
When you were trying running and our friend told you that you just have to push past the pain and you were pushing past shin splints.
Yes.
And it was the wrong kind of pain and you kept running on shin splints like consistently.
Yeah, because they told me you got to push past. It's all about the mental strength.
Oh, yuck.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's full on.
Whereas I'm a whinger. I identify as a full-blown complainer. When I'm in pain, everyone knows about it.
My partner's
That's all I can talk about.
He's the exact same.
It overcomes, I think it's ADHD because it's like your whole focus is taken away from what you're normally focused on, and all you can think about is the pain. Like these pimples, they're so sore and all I can talk about is, oh, my pimples, like look in the mirror, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't know what it is.
You swallow.
I swallow.
Yeah. You suppress.
Yes.
You put that shit down.
It's
and then
the
you get
introverted
resentful.
avoidant in me.
Yeah, you're like, no,
I'll do this alone.
Yeah.
But it's been, you know what, like, it's actually been a really cool experience going through this with a partner, like, because I get to learn how to communicate what I need. And, you know, he's used to me doing things. And I just said to him the other day, like, hey, mate, like, it's time for you to start pulling your weight around the house now too, because, like, I'm getting so pregnant to the point where I actually can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to stand on my feet and cook dinner anymore. I've had enough.
I want to be taken care of.
Yeah. Nurture me.
I'm a passenger? I'm a passenger princess. What happens to your hormones, by the way?
Oh, they drop. After?
No, now.
Yeah, the dip.
So you dip again.
Yeah, I'm dipping.
Dip trimester 1, back up trimester 2, dip trimester 3.
Dipping. And then dip even further, trimester 4.
Right.
A big hormone drop.
Okay, that's where we've got to be careful of postpartum depression.
Yes, yeah, because that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Your hormones are kind of, they're not going to a baby anymore. So they're useless. They don't come around.
Are we getting that placenta put into a tablet?
We are.
Have you organised it?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I will.
We're
eating placenta, guys.
My sister-in-law got her placenta put into tablets, dried and put into tablets, and apparently it's a really good antidote to postnatal depression because of all the nutrients. You are not doing that. You are doing that because I know you well enough. That needs to happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode.
Yeah, thanks for our mini ep and trimester 3, and we'll see you in Parentville.
Yes.
Or trimester 4, which is still Parentville. But
we might have a little special guest one day on the potty.
Oh my God. Don't. Okay. That's cute.
Anyway, we'll see you next week. We got something, fingers crossed, very exciting.
Yeah, no, next week we're on.
If all goes to plan. All right, we'll see you then, guys.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.